Okay, so we know that the x-intercept has to be a number and then 0. Sorry, my box is not big enough. The y-intercept has to be 0 and then a number. So I'm going to go ahead and fill those in because it kind of reminds me not only what I'm looking for, where the zeros should be, but also gets me halfway to my answer, right? So looking up at my table, I don't see those zeros anywhere. But I have to just start thinking about what I can do with the table. And the one thing that I do know how to do is find the slope. Okay, so I'm going to start looking here. -5 to -3, that's +2. -3 to 1, that's +4. 1 to 3, that's +2 again. Left side, -9 to -3, that's +6. -3 to 9, that's +12. And 9 to 15 is +6. So if I turn those into a slope, right, I do change in y over change in x, that's going to give me a slope of 2/6, which is a third. Same thing you would get if you did 4/12, etc. So I know my slope is 1/3, okay? Just to keep things organized, I'm going to go ahead and erase all of my annotations from earlier. I'm going to keep my slope over there on the side though, okay? That slope means that as my y's go up in 1, my x's go up by 3's, right? So I'm looking for the zeros. Well, if I had the zeros like I wanted them, they would fall somewhere in between these points, right? I've got -9, -3, there's a whole bunch of numbers in between before I get to 9 and 15. So what I really want to do is break apart this table and get to the numbers that are hidden in between. Okay, so I'm actually going to redraw it over here. I'm going to make my t-chart bigger. So the point that I just saw was -3, -3. If I use my slope that I found right here to create that table and continue it down, I know that my change in y is 1, so I'm going to do that all the way down. I'm going to add 1, add 1, add 1, so I've got -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, etc. I know that my change in x is 3, so I'm going to continue that down the table. So I've got 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, etc. And I'll see that I actually hit some of the points that they did have over in this original table, okay? If you notice here, I've got 9, 1. Well, that showed up right here, so I did it correctly. When I did this, I also found the two intercepts that I need. Here's 0, -2. Here's 6, 0. So those actually go in my answer. My x-intercept is 6, 0. My y-intercept is 0, -2. Oh, and I found the slope earlier, 1/3. Okay? So what was really important there is that you broke apart the table and kind of zoomed in. Picture your iPhone, like zooming in, pinching those fingers to make a bigger table that's a little bit more detailed. Okay? So let's try it again. All right, this problem, very similar, has a table. We're looking for the intercepts. Okay, so just like I did before, my x-intercept is always going to be a number and then 0. My y-intercept is always going to be 0, then a number. I'm looking for those zeros that I do not see in my table. So I need to start thinking about where would they appear. Well, I've got -8, -4, then 4. Okay, so somewhere in here, I'm missing a 0 on both sides, x and y. So that's where I'm going to break it apart. Go ahead and redraw my table. So the last point I had there was -4, -5. Okay, I need to keep these numbers going down so that I can see what's in between the zeros that I want. However, I'm missing one thing, how I should count, right? And that's found by doing the slope. So let me go back to my original table. -15 to -5, that's +10. -5 to 15, that's +20. Oops. 15 to 25, that's +10. -8 to -4, that's +4. -4 to 4, that's +8. 4 to 8, that's +4. Regardless of which pair you use, y over x, 10 over 4, equals 5/2. Okay? So my slope is 5/2. It's good to know because that's how I'm going to start changing things over on my new table I created. So if the top is the change in y, then that means all of these should be +5, +5, +5. Okay? If I'm at -5 now, +5 would be 0. Plus another 5 would be 5, another 5 would be 10, so on and so forth. Okay? The bottom of my slope is the change in x, which in this case is 2. So that means this side needs to be changing by 2's all the way down. So -4 plus 2 is -2. -2 plus 2 is 0, 2, 4, etc. Okay? And once again, you'll notice that I did it correctly because the next point after my break was 4:15, and there's 4:15 right there. Okay? What's even better is that I found my two intercepts, which happen to be right next to each other. So I can go fill in my intercepts over here. The x-intercept was -2, 0. My y-intercept was 0, 5.